We live and direct. Peace, brothers and sisters. It's your brother man from the motherland coming to you guys live from the NY. Back with another one of that Repent or Die podcast. For those that don't know, I am Junes, the original, for the Bantu, by blood, not by converge. You know I'm out here to splurge with the what? With the word. Want to give all praise and glory to the fathers, for he is worthy to be praised. I want to say thank you for all those that's been tuning in, all new subscribers, all those that's been pushing this truth all across the world, man. Shout out to you guys for allowing me to keep my foot on these heathens, these Hebrews, and the newly installed Hedonites. Next round of applause for that. Yes, sir. But we're going to talk about something that needs to have a conversation. We're going to have this conversation about reparation. Yeah. It's a very, very touchy subject. Very touchy. We got people that believe that black people, or should I say those that came from slave descendants, deserve reparation here in America. We got other people that don't agree with black people getting reparations. We even got black people that disagree that black people here in America shouldn't get reparations. Even myself, I believe that we have already received our reparations. And that reparation came in an era called the crack era, the drug era. Oh yeah, you know, when the hood was generating damn near 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million, $60 million weekly, annually, daily. People was making millions, tons of money. And we did nothing productive with it besides buying material and destroying our community. But that's not what this is here. This is not why I came on today. My conversation within this reparation is whether my stance that I stand on, whatever it may be, but when I see other people, and when I say other people, I'm talking about other nations, will say that black people are not entitled to reparation, it raises a high level of concern for me. Should be for you guys, but some of you guys are not going to understand. So when you say that to me, which a heinous act happened upon people on this land here in America, but when I see you give reparations and bills and protection, high fundings to Ukraine, high fundings to the Chinese, the Asian people, high funding for the LGBTQXYZ. When I see that you support the Holocaust, but when it comes to brothers and sisters that was actually here, that literally shows the suffering, the traumatization that's still going on till this very day in 2023 Matrix year. When I hear you guys say that you guys don't feel like we should get reparations, that is a high level of concern for me. Because I'm about to show you an article, people, where it says 2/3. So if there was 3 people, 2 of them out of the 3 feels as black people should not receive reparation. Let me say that again. 2 out of 3 people said that black people should not be getting reparations. Now, before I get into this article, the question that I got to ask is why? Why? What have we done? Please, somebody explain to me and let me know, what have we done to you guys so wicked and evil that your hatred for us is at this high magnitude? What did we do wrong? What? Because we eating watermelons, because we rap and we dance, because we talk the way that we talk. Like, I really try to understand like other people's perspectives. I really try to understand, European perspective. Really try to understand Asian perspective. Really try to understand Arab perspective. Really try to understand Jewish perspective. Because if 2/3 of Americans feel as if black people don't deserve that, I gotta raise this is a high level of concern. I was about to say raise a level of curiosity, but there's nothing curious. It's only serious. So that means that the same people, the 2/3, will go into these basketball games, these football games, these baseball games, cheer on black people, watch boxing, cheer for black people. But when it's time for black people as a whole to be paid what is due, yes, fam, this is what is due. Let Germany pay for what they did to the Holocaust. Let the Chinese pay to what they done to the Chinese. But who's paying for us? Who? And why? And what is it about us receiving reparations you guys are so afraid of? Could it possibly be that we will no longer be dependent on you guys? Could it possibly be that we will become so self-sufficient that the Black Wall Street might occur? Could it possibly be that we would take our money and move out of the country? I'm just trying to figure out. I'm really trying to figure out. And when I bring up this article, you know what? Instead of talking, let me share this screen. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Oh, there we go. Let me share my screen. Hold on, guys. Let me share my screen. I want you guys to see this. They're not letting me show it. I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why. Why they not letting me show it? Why they not letting me show it? It be like this. I wonder why. Okay. Hold on. All right. Here we go. Here we go. And for those that's not, and for those that, see what I'm bringing forth as a reach, and, a lot of people may be disengaged because this topic and this conversation doesn't concern you, or for the fact that you are in support of, us not receiving reparations. You know, my podcast is, it's not a race based podcast. Yes, I am pro black. I'm extreme black. Let's say it like that. I am for the truth. I feel like you guys have taken the truth away, so I'm really gonna be in complete supportance of my people, whether I agree or disagree. My belief is my belief, but my stance will always be for my people. Let me say that again. My belief is my belief, but my stance will always be for my people. I will never, ever, ever deviate from that. I don't care if a black man is found guilty or been charged with rape, murder, kidnap. I'm going to stand by him. Why? Because that's a brother. And the consequences of his actions should not be justified by the enemy. It should be justified by the people and the family members of the victim. That is our job. This is universal law. You can read that all in the book of Leviticus. This is universal law. This is tribal. This is nation correction, building, solution. You understand? And I'm saying all of this is because you guys are quick to determine who's set free, who's put into jail, but in the same breath will say that we aren't qualified for reparations. So if we're not qualified for that, then you guys shouldn't be qualified to be in our business, govern our communities, Let's leave us alone. If you ain't gonna give us the money, just give us the space. Just give us the freedom. But I digress. Let me read this. Let's get into it. It says, cities may be debating reparations, but here's why most Americans oppose the idea. Now, this is March 27, 2023. Race. Okay? This is 2023. This is recent. We are in April now, right? It says a reparation outside the City Hall in San Francisco this month as supervised take up a draft reparation proposal. The growing numbers of local actions has renewed hopes and questions about a national policy. Right? Let's read it. It says local reparation programs in about a dozen cities and the state of California have renewed hopes for eventual national policy to compensate for slavery. But after decades of lobbying and 3 years of national reckoning over race, Americans overall remain strongly opposed to the idea. Okay? It says when, let me see, this person look like it's an Arab. Hold on, let's see.
Taddy
Stida began polling about it several years ago. He expected money would be the biggest issue, or perhaps the workability of such a complex undertaking. It turns out that those are the smallest concern amongst the 2/3 of Americans who say they are against cash payments to the descendants of slaves. You see this? 2/3. You see what 2/3 gives you? Oh. This is the actual writing. We're gonna get into that. 2/3, people, of Americans. 2/3. So that means two out of every European person that black people are dealing with. 2/3 of that don't believe that you should be getting money, but will look at you and call you honey, say, ooh, can I get some of that money? But then wish you the worst. And when you go down, they're going to smile like everything is funny. Yeah. 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 Hey. But yet, when I say that the Father says no to interracials, when I say that we all supposed to be dealing with our own kind, it's nothing personal. When I see black women, forget the black man. The black man, I don't know. But when I see the black woman give herself up to these Europeans, I find it as the highest level of disrespect, knowing what these people, that bloodline, that ancestral bloodline has done to black women like you, what they have done to your auntie, what they have done to your lost cousin, your lost grandmother, your mother. Yo, come on. Come on. To see you freely open yourself up and say things like, I love you and I would love to have your baby. When statistics show that 2 out of 3 people says heck no to a reparation to you, your family, whoever. That means your auntie, your cousins, your brothers, your nieces, your nephews. All of that is a dub. You guys don't deserve sugar, honey, iced tea. Let's read. A plurality of Americans neither says don't believe the descendants of slaves deserve reparations. The political science professor at the University of Massachusetts plans more research to get an exact why people think that. So he's going to go and get more information into why. The other most common reason opposed city is that it is impossible to place monetary value on the impact of slavery, and Africans and Americans are treated equally in society today. See, this is the deflect mechanism. This is social studies right here. This is philosophy. This is psychology. This is how they try to minimize the horrifics of slavery. But you will never hear them say something like this about the Jewish people. How many Jewish people don't went into these concentration camps and got supposedly gas? Why aren't that being mentioned? Not everybody made it suffered from those people. And the majority of those people is dead too. I don't see the Asian people getting hit with speculations, specifics. This is how things has got to be. We only going to give it to who? All of them is included. Why does it matter? And of course, we're not treated equal. Well, we're treated equal according to the system that you have put before us that forces us to grind hard, that forces us to beef amongst each other. We know what you guys are doing. That's why you saying what you're saying, right? See, a Chinese person could get, the Chinese person could make enough to get out, to benefit his family, himself, his community. Same with the Arabs. Even now with the Latin America. Latin Americans are, listen, all the construction is not even being done by black people, even in the hood. We don't even see that we on borrowed time. We don't even see that these people are really putting things in place where we're no longer going to be needed. And if those that is surviving, you got to survive in their territory. And those that's in their territory, you're only there temporary. Because the main objective is to do what? Is to make sure that the Black Messiah never returns. That the potential Malcolm X never returns. That this potential Sam Cooke never return. Marcus Garvey never return. Bob Marley never return. See, they looking forward to those things right there. This is why they going what they this is why they doing what they doing. Especially after September 4th, 2021. You know. Let's continue. It says Nitata and also the P Research Center found about three quarters or more of white adults oppose reparation, and so do a majority of Latinos and Asian Americans. A large majority of black. Listen. Even the Sambones is here too. You see the Cancuns? I call them Cancuns. This is the coconuts right here. A large majority of coconut Americans support them. Okay, they are also more supportive amongst younger people, and a sharp political divide with the overwhelming opposition from Republicans and conservatives. All right, let's go back up to this. About three quarters or more. 4 quarters make 100. 3/4 of that or more. So we talking what? 80%, 90%, 99.9%. Oh, my bad. You guys like to round off to the nearest 10, right? Or the nearest 5, right? So let's just say 85%. 85% of all nationalities outside of black people believe that black people should not get reparations. Not to mention the coconuts that also believe that they should not get reparations. And I wouldn't even say coconuts. I want to say coconut because you got to have a reason, because I have my reasons. Because I seen drug dealers live their best lives. I seen, listen, in the hood, if you from the hood and you from outside, we touch money. Big money. I know people right now own buildings off this type of money, worth millions. And shout out to those that did something productive with their spare loot. But let's not act like the hood wasn't touching money. See, when you look at these old documentaries with drug dealers, what the first thing, these dudes was walking around with $50,000 change. I mean, it probably was cheaper then because the money had more value. But dudes was walking around with big old chains. I'm talking about big old rocks, rings that cover their whole hand. These are facts, guys. You know I ain't telling you no lie. But that's just me. But if they was to come and say, well, you could get it, but you deserve it, but you not getting it because of such and such, then my stance is gonna be like, you aren't qualified to say what we deserve and what we don't deserve. You're not qualified. And this is what I try to tell people. And I don't even want to get off topic. This is what I try to tell people. We as black people need to stop inviting outsiders into our lives, into our culture, into our way of life. Because when they come in, they don't come in as guests. They come in as Alexander the Greek. Like they really try to come and take over. Then they tell you what type of music you gotta play. Look at hip hop. Hip hop was, people don't know, hip hop was a platform, was an outlet for brothers and sisters to talk about their everyday struggle, to point out who's the enemy is, to say fight the power, rise, stand with Malcolm, etc., etc. To now, the music is shoot 'em up, bang, bang, sell drugs. Woman got to shake her ass. She got to do this. She got to do that. You know how that was able to happen? Because we allowed these outsiders to come into our game and give us, I don't even know what they gave us. What they gave us? Some bread, a record label, a record deal. We don't need these things from these people. You know how many people got rich just selling it from their trunk of their car? We should have been there, stood like that, and built that empire from the ground up and kept it that way. Because when you do business with the devil is gonna make you do devilish things. See, when you do business with the devil is gonna make you do devilish things. And you see how sinister we have gotten as a whole, as black people here in America. And because we have become so sinister, these people who taught you to be sinners are now saying, because you guys are sinisters, we feel like you guys are unqualified to receive any level of reparation. That you should be happy. How are we going to give you guys money when all of you guys are treated equal the same way? That's what that was said. Let me continue reading, see, because I'm getting annoyed. Listen. Look, it says, the racial wealth gap challenged a core American narrative. On a recent sunny day on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., it was not hard to find reparation opponents willing to share their reasons, right? So these are the people that's against it, right? Let's see what this person says. You can't take what we know now and try to superpose yourself until 150 years ago, says Jeff Bernard, visiting from visiting from Huntsville, Alabama. Look, you see where they from? He calls racism a sin and says, of course, slavery was wrong, but to try and make it amends at this point make no sense, right? He says racism is a sin. Don't put racism and sin together. Sin is going against the Father. Racism was something that was created by you because you took advantage of the penalty we've done sinning against the Father. Don't put those two together. Don't disrespect my Father like that. Don't disrespect me like that. Don't disrespect God-fearing, Bible-reading, commandment-keeping individuals. Don't do that, which is 90% black. Don't do that. Don't do that. And don't use that and don't say things but try to make amends at this point make no sense. Why it don't make sense? Did it make sense when Ukraine got a large sum? Does it make sense when Israel gets billions of dollars annually? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Because I'm quite sure that because of this free money given away, that inflation has started to affect all our pockets, especially us here in America. Does it make sense? Every time when it comes to black people, there's always an excuse. Like, damn, like it's that deep. Like, why? Oh, you know what? Let's continue reading. It says the generation that will be paying for it have nothing to do with what was done in the past, he says, and then you're paying people that have nothing to do with it in the past. Oh, you see their thought process? Do you see what's in these people's mind? That's just what's in their heart. This is how they really feel. Okay, so let's see. So the generation that will be paying has nothing to do with what was done in the past. Okay, so How you guys are still sitting on millions of dollars? How is your business still being run? How is new medication being ministered? Who are you running these tests on? Who are you paying minimum wage to? Who's doing all the dirty work and you collecting all the cash? Whose children that don't even need a job, that can just live off their father's income? You ever seen the movie Hangover? Remember the boy with the beard? He was living off his father, 40-something years old, never had a job, had enough money to buy a giraffe, and his reason was because I just wanted a giraffe, daddy. Huh? See, you guys see these as comical jokes. No, this is harsh reality for you. This is mockery. This is them able to have a good time, do whatever they want. Of who expense? On the expense of who? The Mexicans or the Johnny-come-latelys? They're just coming to rebuild things that was already built. It's already over for them. They came late. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about before the gold was being shipped, how American tangibles came from sugar cane, coffee grounds, cotton. Who are you? You crazy? You crazy? And then to make matters worse, right? He said, and then you're paying people that have nothing to do with it in the past. Are you dumb? Or are you dumb? Isn't there racism still going on? I thought you said racism is a sin, but racism is a product of slavery. What? Huh? Police still see black people as guilty before innocent. Innocent people are being sent to jail. Do you know that when somebody becomes, see, the amendment eradicated slavery. So they say. It eradicated physical slavery, but mental slavery still exists till this day and ain't going nowhere. But what it did do is say, see, physically, you won't have to experience what we have done to you and people that look like you. But if you get arrested and you go to jail, we are able to do exactly the exact same thing that we've done to you back in the days when you were slaves. Or you don't got no commissary money, you're going to eat this. You're going to eat all the defiled food you can imagine. They're going to give you the shrimp. They're going to give you the crab. They're going to give you the bacon. They're going to give you everything. Well, if you don't like it, get your own. Tell your family to put money into your books. Oh, it's time to work. And you only going to get 25 cents an hour. So you got to make it make sense. So when I hear somebody says, but try to make and then you're paying people that have nothing to do with it in the past, you don't think this psychological, physical trauma, post-traumatic slave syndrome, you think that joint is not fully active? You think that joint is not happening now? You think the projects is making money to end up leaving the projects to move to Beverly Hills? We still going through it. We still going through it. So when I hear people say foolish stuff like that, this is how they really feel about you, black man. This is how they really feel about you, black woman. But yet you want to take the time out and give yourself away. You take the time out of yourself to give yourself up to these people. See, the enemy will always try to deflect on the wrongdoings that they done to people that they don't like. See, it's easy to tell a black man to forget about slavery. You know why they want you to forget about slavery? They want you to forget about slavery because slavery still exists. Because if you keep talking about slavery, then subconsciously you're going to also start to proceed to feel and believe and witness and understand that it's also slavery mentally. See, they don't want people to think like me. Rockefeller said he don't want a land, a world full of free thinkers. He want a land or a world full of people that's going to work for them and bring them money. So basically, you go to school to continue the slavery that we've been going to, that happened back then physically, that's happening now mentally. See, you gotta forget about that. Ain't like we sicking dogs on you. Ain't like we lynching you. Ain't like we beating you, even though these things are happening and it's not being put on the news. Ain't like we not allowing you to come to our restaurant and eat steak with blood in it. It's not like we're not allowing you to. This is what they do. But you can never forget about the Holocaust. You can never forget about 9/11. See, 9/11, if you forget about 9/11, you're going to then have sympathy, and then you're going to question why America has to always be prepared to invade other countries. Oh, damn, June, why you talking like that? See, you can't forget about the Holocaust because these are the people that's buying and running up everything. Putting movies out that's showing black people selling drugs, women being prostitutes, teaching our daughters, making music, producing music, signing artists to bring forth nothing but Hellenistic movies and TV shows and music to demoralize, to destroy. See, you can't say that, because they're protected. See, the Holocaust created protection for them. So when you even try to question them and say, what are you doing? They can say, you're being anti-Semitic. Let me finish reading. Here's another one. Terry, what's his name? What's this? Let's see what the name is.
Terry Kuhn.
Terry Kuhn. That sounds like a Khazar. Of upstate New York, agrees and does not like the idea of targeted programs that will only help some people. If we're not included, you can't get it neither. I heard foolish things like, you know they had white slaves too. There was European slaves. No, that was European prisoners. Slavery was when a bunch of people went into areas, kidnapped, raped, butchered, slaughtered, murdered, molested, racked them up with chains around their necks and feet and hands, put them in a ship like a can of sardines, allow them to poop on themselves, pee on themselves, and be infested with diseases, come into another place, get taken off, get hit with lashes, with sticks, beaten, sold, then was told that your name will no longer be no African name. It's going to be called Terry. And your new last name will be Cohen. And you better take that. And if you don't, we will beat you. And if you try to be so rebellious, we will rape you. They didn't care if you was a man or a woman. They will rape you. They will molest you. They will have boys touching their private parts. Oh yeah, I got to talk like this so you can understand. See, because when I see people that say foolish things like this is why I try to tell you it's a high level of disrespect. High level of disrespect. Look, We are all immigrants at some point, whether it was voluntary or forced, she says, and nobody needs a handout anymore. Everybody you know pulled themselves up together to their own bootstrap and work for a living and make their way in this world. You see this? You see the disrespect? You see the disrespect? No handouts? Okay. No handouts? So how did you so the bank gave you a loan? That was a handout. Why don't you start from the dirt? Go get a bucket and water and go wash some cars and go polish some shoes like we had to. That we had to. Why you don't do that? Why you guys know all the grants, when to apply, how to apply, what words to say to receive it? Why you guys know that? No handouts though. No handouts though. No handouts though. But I bet you have no problem. You don't see nothing wrong with laying with a person that don't deserve no handouts though, right? You see nothing wrong with having children with somebody that you believe that shouldn't have no handouts though. So when that child is born, you're also telling that same child that, oh no, you don't need no handouts. You got to go get it out the mud, baby. Because that child can't just talk about racism because his mommy is white. Or his daddy is white. So I gotta be very politically grounded, or politically correct, should I say, and not say things to offend my mommy and not say things to aggravate my daddy. You see why the father said you must stay with your own kind? See, when I stay with my own kind, my conversation is always going to be different. I can't have this conversation if I'm dating a European, because that European, she might just be the 2/3 that don't see nothing wrong. See your brother man pass away. Huh? Stop playing. Let's read. That conviction, that hard work payoff is a core narrative of the U.S., says Yale social psychologist Michael Koras is another one. And the notion of a persistent racial wealth gap clash with it. He surveyed people about this and think that his findings help explain the broad opposition to reparations. Okay? A majority of our simple tends to think that we made steady progress towards greater equality and wealth between families. So between blacks and white families, he says, that is totally inconsistent with reality. Okay? It says most of those he surveyed through that day, for every $100 white families have, black families have about 90. In fact, the racial gap is exponentially larger, given its magnitude and recent intense focus on the racial justice around the country. Cross calls the disconnect a kind of collective, willful ignorance. I mean, I could go and continue reading, but let's just make things clear. That gap will never be, and you guys can look this up. If you know what I'm saying, like I tell people, don't take things for face value. You guys could just look it up. And when you look it up, you're going to realize and you're going to see that everything that these people tell us, is a complete lie. If they tell you the sky is red, or they told you that the sky was red, that probably was a lie. And especially if you're seeing it blue. See, our problem, and the reason why I'm doing this is because it's time for black people to understand who the enemies are. The enemies are, I'm going to show you. Let's go back up. Go back up. Right here. 3/4. Find out that 3/4 or more of white adults oppose reparation, and so do a majority of the Latinos and Asians. Okay? Mind you, these are the people that benefit off our music, critiquing our music, watch our movies, pick up trend, fashion, cooking, and will have the audacity to tell you that you don't deserve it. These are the same people that got restaurants in your community. These are the same people that would cheer you on as a basketball player. See, you nothing. Let me tell you something. In the eyes of these people, you're nothing but a joke. You're nothing but cattle. See, a sports owner, a person that owns a sports team, can trade the player whenever he desires. Could cut him off whenever he desires. And you'll notice that there will be no repercussions behind that. Oh, such and such was cut. Oh, part of the business. Yo, I would like to get traded. I don't want to play for this team no more. Who the heck do he think he is? What gives him the right to tell his owner that he don't want to play for this team no more? Now the crowd is against you. Boo! Everybody's against you. But if you got traded and was to play the team you got traded from, you get a standing ovation. You get a You get all of that. But the minute you say, I want to get up out of here, you met with booze, you met your trash, your dudes will go as far as disrespecting your family, bro. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It'll go that far. And it's going on till this very day. I witnessed it this year in 2023. When Kyrie Irving said, I don't want to play for you guys, for the Brooklyn Nets. And I'm from Brooklyn. And I watch Brooklyn people, especially black people, be sucked in and boo this man. When you know that this man was standing up for everything black. Now, I don't agree with what he do, but his position and what he's trying to represent, I get it. I support it. Like I said, I support everything black. As long as you not making me go against my father who sits on that throne, I support it. And especially when it's a black man standing up to these owners, to these heathens who feel entitled to talk to you how they want, trade you when they feel, tell you how to dress. Because I remember when Iverson was in the NBA, they had a whole dress code. Iverson retires. Now you can wear whatever you want to wear. Dudes is coming out here with muumuus on. Big ass red Barney shoes. And that, are you crazy? It's time for you guys to understand who the enemy is. And for the brothers that's inside of these religious camps that's running around perceiving that these people are one of us, the statistics show different. The characteristics show different. The mentality shows different. You will never be loved as black people here in this land. You will never be loved as black people here in this land. The only place and the only person that will ever love you is the man that created you on the land where they found you, where you belong. where your flesh, your air, your nostrils, everything that you have breathed in the last 100 years don't belong there. It belong in another place. Your whole very existence belong in the land that they took you from. Meanwhile, these people talking about no reparations, these heathens will take $500 billion worth of gold and go restitute their whole European society. Gold, coal, anything, titanium for your phone, the batteries for your phone. Oh, you thought it was in Afghanistan. That was another lie. They went to Afghanistan for the opioids. They went into Afghanistan for the opioids. You know, like the herons. You know, like the fentanyl. You know, like the crack. Yeah. You know, you know, like the Percocets. Yeah. You ever notice that after 9/11, the community was infused with pills, ecstasy, a whole lot of pill popping going on now? That became part of our culture. I remember the only pill black people ever took was an Advil and a Tylenol. Now we popping pills to get the mood right. Molly's, you forgot? You guys forgot? See, I don't forget things. I'm a very observant individual. I mean, look at the size of my head. Oh, I sit there and I analyze, I pay attention because I know what you guys are planning to do, and it's to destroy because you don't like us. And I know why you don't like us, Kane. I know why you don't like us, Ham. And wait till tomorrow I'm going to bust y'all people's heads. I'm going to prove to you again that the name changes that these heathens have displayed was a lie. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. See, when you're doing the will of the Father's going to expose you and provide you with all the truth, because when it's all said and done, can't nobody on the face of this earth will be able to say, I wasn't warned. Nobody told me this. Let this reparation, let this me coming on this live right now, let this be a wake-up call. Let this be a wake-up call for what's really going on. Let's not forget why you was here. Let's not forget who keep you here. Let's not forget what these people have done. Let's not forget who the enemy is. Stop pointing the gun at each other and have that same exact gun that you point at each other as a protection to protect your community, because these people are coming. Oh, they're coming. And when they come, they already know the majority of the black family household will have not one nigga in there. And when they know that there's no male in the house, that means that house has no protection. And with no protection, it's just an entrance. An entrance for who? For Lucifer and his children. And they coming. And that's the reason why you can't get no goddamn reparation. Because they can't afford to see you self-sufficient. They can't afford to say, I no longer want to deal here. Because these people can't live without our service. Because they can't do nor endure or withstand the stuff that we do and still go through until this very day, 2023. They know this. This is why they tell you to forget about slavery. Because mentally, you're still enslaved. And if I keep telling you that slavery is a physical thing, you're then going to focus on the physical aspect and totally overlook the mental, where 99.9% of us is still under that mental slavery. Are you dumb or are you dumb? But that's all I wanted to show you guys. You guys can read it. You could check the website. It's npr.org. This is the title, Cities May Debate Reparations. But here's why most Americans oppose the idea, okay? You can click it to play listen and they'll play for you. But I had to read it because I need you, and not even need you, but I need to feel the anger, because when you hear it and you read it, it's a different type of feel. Facts. But that's it, people. I'm gonna go start my day. I got things to do, money to make. Look, somebody put the thumbs down. Somebody put the thumbs down. Wow. Wow. But it's okay, man. It's okay. Let me see if there's anything to be said. Oh, oh, you already know. Shout out to the Bantu princess, man. She always stay in tune. You know what I'm saying? Always. And listen, I'm just the messenger, man. You understand? I'm just the messenger. I ain't here. I ain't here to fight with nobody. I ain't here to stir up nobody's beliefs. I ain't here to stir up nobody's concern. I'm just here to keep it 3.5. Whether you agree to disagree, that's not for me. But if we're gonna talk it, let's talk it right. And if you don't want to listen, then say goodnight. It's your brother, man, from the motherland. I came to you guys live. For those that don't know who I am Junes for the Bantu. By blood, not by converge. You know I'm out here to splurge with the what? With the word. But you know I am Mr. Keep my foot on you heathens, you Hegos, and the newly installed Heathenites next. Are you dumb or are you dumb? I'ma holler at you. Hold on. Let the father say one time for the one time. And I'ma holler at y'all.